dear students, today we are going to see all about bipolar junction transistor. What is it? So let's get started. The course outcome is select power electronic devices for specific applications and maintain the performance of thyristor. The learning outcome is you will be able to identify the given thyristor family device and the triggering device. Now, what is bipolar junction transistor? All of you know the transistor is a three-layer semiconductor device consisting of either two N and one P-type layer of material or two P and one N-type layers of material. The meaning of this is that NPN or PNP. Okay. The former is called as NPN transistor, while the latter or the next one is called a PNP transistor. So, depending on the layers of material which are used in the BJT, the bipolar junction transistor, in short, it is it is known as BJT. So, there are two types of BJT. One is the PNP transistor, another is the NPN transistor. Now, here you can see in each transistor, the following points are to be noted. Here you can see from the layer diagram, there are two junctions. So, transistor can be considered as two diodes connected back to back. From the layer diagram, you can also see, or it is clear, that there are three terminals. The middle one is thin as compared to the other. How the transistor terminals are named? The transistor has three sections of doped semiconductor. The section 1 is called emitter. The opposite side is called collector, and the middle section is called the base. It is clear from here. What is emitter? The section of one side which supplies the carriers is called emitter. It is emitting. The emitter is always forward biased with respect to base so that it can supply carrier. For NPN transistor, emitter supply holes to its junction. For PNP transistor, emitter supply electrons to its junction. Collector. The section on the other side that collects carrier is called collector. It is collecting. The collector is always reversed biased with respect to base. And just now I told you that emitter is forward biased. For PNP transistor, collector receives holes to its junction. For PNP transistor, collector receives electrons to its junction. Now the base, the middle section which forms two PN junction between emitter and collector is called base. Now some important factors which should be remembered. So first point, the transistor has three regions named emitter, base and collector. The base is much thinner than other region. Emitter is heavily doped, so it can inject large amount of carriers into the base. Base is lightly doped, so it can pass most of the carrier to the collector. Collector is moderately doped. The junction between emitter and base is called emitter-base junction, and junction between base and collector is called collector-base junction. The emitter diode is always forward biased and the collector diode is always reverse biased. The resistance of emitter diode is very small since it is in forward biased mode, and resistance of collector diode is high. How the transistor works. So first we will see working of NPN transistor. The forward bias is applied to emitter base junction and reverse bias is applied to collector base junction. The forward bias in the emitter base junction causes electrons to move towards the base. This will constitute the emitter current, which is known as IE. You can see from here through the diagram. As these electrons flow towards p-type base, they try to recombine with the holes. So, as base is lightly doped, only few electrons will combine with holes within the base. These recombined electrons will form the small base current, and the remaining electrons crosses base and constitute the collector current. So the total emitter current will be equal to base current plus collector current. Now working of PNP. The forward bias is applied to emitter base junction and reverse bias is applied to collector base junction. The forward bias in the emitter base junction causes holes to move towards base. So this will form the emitter current IE. As these holes flow towards N-type base, so they will combine with electrons. These recombined holes constitute again the small base current. Here you can see the symbols of NPN BJT and PNP BJT. You can see the direction of flow of current also, emitter current, collector current, base current in both the transistors PNP and NPN. There are some operating modes in transistor. What is those? So first one is the active mode. Active mode is that in which base emitter junction is forward and base collector junction is reverse biased. Saturation mode. In saturation mode, base emitter junction is forward biased and base collector junction is forward biased. See the difference between active mode and saturation mode. Cutoff mode. In cutoff mode, both the junctions are reverse biased. How the transistors are connected? The transistor can be connected in a circuit in three ways: common base, common emitter, common collector. How is it? The first one, the common base connection. The common base terminology means that the base is common to both the input and output sides of the configuration. You can see here in the first figure the common base connection for NPN, and here you can see the common base connection for PNP connection or configuration. The expression for collector current, since the total current does not reach the collector terminal, so the total emitter current will be collector current plus the base current, combination of both. Common emitter connection. The common emitter connection, in this, the emitter is common to both the input and output sides. In common collector, the collector is common to both the input sides and output sides of the configuration. Here you can see the collector is common. So this was all about the BJT, that is bipolar junction transistor. I hope you all have understood this. Take care. Thank you.